Let's look at the final part of lesson 6.4, which has to do with binomial denominators. Remember when we had to get rid of I with our complex numbers, we had to get rid of I in the bottom of a fraction. We have to do the same thing with our square roots. We can't have a radical in the bottom of a fraction. So we are going to multiply by the conjugate. So that would be 4 minus the square root of 2 over 4 minus the square root of 2. I always recommend putting those in parentheses because we have to distribute, and oftentimes we forget if we don't put them in there. So I have 4 times 4, which is 16, minus 4 root 2 on the top. And on the bottom, I would have 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times negative root 2 is minus 4 root 2. Plus 4 root 2, remember the whole purpose of that is that those middle terms are going to cancel out. And then minus the square root of 4. And I know that you guys know that these cancel and that the square root of 4 is 2. So I now have 16 minus 4 root 2 over 16 minus 2, which is 14. Now because this is a fraction, we can reduce it, and it looks like 2 goes into all of these. So that can become 7, that can become 8, and we're only looking at the coefficients. So this becomes 8 minus 2 square root 2 over 7. So let's take a look at that for number 16. Multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate. 6 minus the square root of 5, 6 plus the square root of 5. So 2 times 6 and 2 times the root of 5 is 12 plus 2 root 5. The bottom is 6 times 6, which is 36, plus 6 root 5, minus 6 root 5, minus the square root of 25, which you guys know is 5. Those cancel. So my answer is going to be 12 plus 2 square root 5 over 36 minus 5 is 31. Now we look and see, is there anything in those 3 coefficients that reduce? 12, 2, and 31. Nothing reduces, so this is our final answer. Take a look at number 17. Try and do number 17 on your own. So pause the video and try and do that on your own. I will tell you, because your first question is probably going to be, what do I multiply by? And 1 plus 4 root 2 is the conjugate. And there's no shortcuts, so go ahead and multiply by that. When you're done, you can come back and check. I'm going to work through the problem. I'm not going to talk through the problem, but I'll work through the problem, so you should be able to follow along if you have questions. So I hope you were able to get that. In case you were wondering why I moved that negative sign, typically we want our negative signs not to be in the bottom of a fraction, so you could have put it out front, but when you put it out front, it just means that you're multiplying both the things in the top by the negative number. So you can, if you have a negative in the bottom, just go through and change all of your signs. So notice I had a plus on the top and a minus on the bottom. I changed it to minus, minus, and plus. And that will simplify your fraction completely. All right, number 18. Things get a little more complicated when we have binomials both in the top and in the bottom, but the process is still the same. We are going to multiply by the square root of 5 minus the square root of 3 on both the top and the bottom. So we have 5 times root 5, 5 times root 3, negative root 5 times negative root, or times positive root 5, and then negative root 5 times negative root 3. Over square root of 25 minus the square root of 15 plus the square root of 15 minus the square root of 9. So then I'm going to go through and simplify whatever I can. Like, I know that the square root of 25 is 5. I know that the square root of 9 is 3. Oops, I meant to write 5. I wrote a 2. And that these cancel out. It doesn't appear that anything else simplifies. So my answer would be 5 root 5 minus 5 root 3 minus 5 plus root 15 all over 5 minus 3, which is 2. And since nothing is even in the top, nothing reduces. These problems definitely take a little bit more time. And being neat with your work is very helpful. So I'll multiply by the conjugate both on the top and the bottom. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times negative 2 root 7 is negative 6 root 7. Positive 2 root 7. And then minus 2 times, 2 root 49. That's the top. The bottom is 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative 2 root 7 is negative 4 root 7. Then we have plus 4 root 7 and minus 2 times the square root of 49. So let's simplify what we can. Those two cross off. 2 root 49 is 2 times 7, which is 14. Same thing here. And then these are our like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and combine those together. So that's 6 minus 4 root 7 minus 14. Oh, I found a mistake. I made this mistake in class the other day too. Right here, I forgot to multiply this 2 times this 2. That should be a 4, which changes this to be 4 times 7, which is 28. So it's a minus 28. I know that because I was looking at my answer key. So 4 minus 28 would be negative 24. And I can simplify again. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but 6 minus 14 would be negative 8 minus 4 square root 7 all over negative 24. They are all negative, so we can change the signs of all of them to positives. And the coefficients are all divisible by 4, so let's reduce that. And my final answer would be 2 plus square root 7 over 6. So I'd like you to pause the video again and give number 20 a try so that we can see if you really understand it well or not. And maybe find out if there's something that you know that you understand, and then there's something that you don't know what to do. You get to a point where you don't know what to do. Then you can watch the video and see it. Oh, I forgot to multiply. Okay. I hope that you guys caught that when you were looking at my video, because I forgot to multiply. So I'm going to go back. I multiplied 8 times 4 root 6 and got 8 root 6. And these should be 8 times 4 is 32. I guess the 3 was right. But the 8 is definitely not right. All right, so now I have 24 plus, okay. I hope that's helpful. We'll do some review in class tomorrow.